Your volatility 75 analysis is failing because you are not following two rules in the market. And these rules are your trend and your support and resistance. There are two types of support and resistance. The first one is your major support and resistance, while the second one is your minor support and resistance. Hi, my name is Prince, and if you're new to the channel, kindly subscribe and turn on bell notification so you will be the first to get notified each time I come up with an amazing videos like this. Consider this video a full course taking you from scratch from point A to point Z, where you can comfortably and confidently take a trade on Volatility 75 all by yourself. In order to fix this, I will be showing you every single thing you need to know about trading Volatility 75, following my simple strategy. Now, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is head over to your Volatility 75 chart. This is my Volatility 75 chart weekly time frame on my NT5, right? So all I need to do here is understand the trend. Every market has where it is heading to. Every single market has a movement, a direction, right? You need to understand the direction of a particular pair, be it Volatility 75, 25, 10 index, 10 1x, and so on and so forth, including boom and crash. You need to understand the direction of this market. Once you can spot the direction of the market, that is your winning. That is the first winning right there. Because if you can spot the direction of the market, it simply means you can spot where the price is actually heading to. Now, on my screen, you will discover that this is Volatility 75 weekly time frame, and everything you're going to see here, right, is just a simple analysis. That's exactly what you're going to see here. No fancy tools, no indicators, right? Just a simple analysis. Good. I went ahead to take out my grip so everything looks plain. Now, all I need to do here, which is exactly what you should be doing, is first and first, draw a trend line, picking out the most comfortably downtrend you can actually see. Now, a downtrend will not be complete if it hasn't touched at least 2 points in the market. You can see exactly what I did here. First, I hit the first point at the top, and again I came down and hit the second point here, then drawing my trend line downwards, right? This is simple. This is a very simple price action strategy. You don't need to complicate anything, just follow the simple rules, right? Now we've already discovered that the market is on what? A downtrend. Now the next step we need to take is going to our daily time frame. Now we can easily see our weekly trend line, the one we initially drew, right? You can see it here, all the way down. Now you can easily spot out exactly what the trend just did here, right? You can see exactly what trend just did here. Price went all the way to this weekly trend line, came down a little bit, then went up again, right? Now at those points, we are not going to be depending on the weekly trend line. No, we are not going to depend on it, right? We are also going to be finding another trend inside the daily time frame, right? We are going to be finding another trend inside the daily time frame, because the smaller the trend, right? The smaller the trend, the better the entry. Now, all I need to do is to draw another trend line based on what I am seeing in the market, based on what I've seen in the market. Draw another trend line. Good. Now, this is the daily time frame, right? And I just drew a trend line picking out here and also here, then all the way down, which is exactly what you can see here. I would have put this particular trend line just like this, but this high here is higher than this high, right? I would have also dropped it a little bit down just like this, right? But this high is higher than this high, right? Since there was a breakout like this. So if you're drawing the trend line like this, right? If you're drawing the trend line like this, you are making a mistake, right? You only pick out the lows and not the highs. This is a downtrend, right? We just discovered that from our weekly time frame. This is a downtrend. If it's an uptrend, we will be picking out the highs. But since it's a downtrend, we will only be picking out what? The lows. So I will leave it this way. Then I will head over to either my H12 or my H8. This is a step-by-step process, right? Just follow the rules. No complications. Do not complicate anything for yourself, right? Do not complicate anything. The next step here is identifying the trend. Remember, I said the smaller the trend, right, the better the entry. Now, I can see a downtrend from here all the way down like this. Now, this is what I did. I picked here, then drop it down. Now, at this point, I discovered that there are no more downtrend. Rather, price broke out from this trend line on the H8 and started buying up to this trend line at the weekly time frame. Now, how do we spot this out? How do we know that price is going to buy, or how do we know that as soon as price breaks out from this trend line, the H8 trend line, that it is going to buy all the way to the top? How do we know that? Now, this is where your support and resistance comes into play, right? This is where your support and resistance comes into play. Now, I will take you guys back to the weekly time frame. Again, let's take this step by step. First of all, we have most of the major support and resistance coming from the weekly time frame, beginning from here, right? Beginning from here, this is a support, but you can't spot it out except you head over to a smaller time frame, or you zoom in just like this in order for you to see it clearly, or you zoom out. Just zoom out like this in order to see it clearly. Now, let's spot all of this step by step. Since this is a step-by-step course, right, that will take you from point A to point Z, whereby you can comfortably and confidently take any trade on Volatility 75 as well as any other synthetic indices pair, right? Now, let's comfortably take out this. Let's delete this. Now, let's start looking out for our major supports and resistance, right? I will make this a little bit bigger, then I will change the color of this to maybe a very dark purple. Good. Now, I will only be picking out his support and resistance zones. If I mean support and resistance zones, I mean major supports and resistance zones, right? We've already picked out the last spot, but I will just delete that for now. Let's focus on these ones at the top. Here, I don't think we have a resistance or a support here. So I will move to the top where we have a support and a resistance. Good. We have one here. Then we keep on moving. This is way simpler than any other thing. You can spot this out on your own, even without having any tools of your choice, or even without having any tools or any indicators, right? You can spot this out on your own. Okay, so I won't be going too far, but let's stop here for now. Now let's head over to the daily time frame. You can see exactly where we stopped at the weekly time frame, right? Now let's go ahead and do the same thing for the daily time frame. Look for zones where price breaks a particular support or resistance zone, then went back again to retest it. If you can spot those zones, just break and retest, then you are good to go. It's very simple. Spot it out on your own. You can do this after watching this video, or probably watch the video twice in order to understand exactly what I am saying. Okay, now you see we do not have a breakout, right? You can see we only have this price breaks, retest. You see, so I will leave that for now. Okay, now this is the major. Let's keep moving. You just need to spot these out on your own. They are way easier than you think. Nothing complicated. Just spot it out and you will see. Okay, we also will move to H8. So this is H8, right? Okay, so all I can see here inside the H8 is this, right? Price breaks out of this H8 trend line, then came back to it. So here already is our support. Somewhere around here is our support, right? Just breaks and it was just consolidating a little bit at this range before taking off upward, right? We also have another here, but let's see if, okay, let's keep moving. H6. You see exactly how I am taking this thing step by step, right? You see exactly how I am taking it step by step. You don't rush these things, right? You take your time, right? You just take your time. Forget that you want to trade 10 pairs in a day, 3 pairs in a day, 5 pairs in a day, 12 pairs in a day. You want to trade all of the markets. No. You don't need all the markets to make money in synthetic indices. No. If you can analyze 2, 1, or even 3 very, very well in a day, then believe me, you are going to make money. All you need to do is focus, take your time, and analyze these things. They are very easy. They are way easier than you think, you see. So we have a trend line, like a support and resistance here. That was exactly what I just did. You see how price just went, then you see the breakout all the way to the top, right? All the way to the top. Let me take that out. H4. Let's move to H4. Let's see. I can see another support here. Good. And also, if we move to H1, I can see a trend line all the way to the top. You can see a trend line all the way to the top. So let's see if we can draw that out. Okay. Did you see what I did? I drew the trend line to this point, right? It didn't work out the way I planned it because price broke the trend line, went back again to the top, right? So it doesn't really work that way. Remember, if you are drawing a trend line downwards, you only pick the lows. If you're drawing a trend line upwards, you only pick the highs, right? So I will pick this, although it's almost the same the same high with this one. So I will go with this one. Now, where do we find our entries? This is one of the major questions that most traders usually ask themselves. Where do I find an entry Where do I find, where do I sell? Where do I sell from here? Wherever you see a higher time frame trend line or support and resistance line, and you discover a rejection at that particular spot, you should always be looking for entries. There was a rejection here at H8. When I drew this trend line, you see price went all the way down, came back to retest that trend line, then dropped again. If you look very well, you can see exactly what price did there. You can see this candle before the dropping. Let me show you another. You can see exactly what price did here. See that rejection candle? Then we have a drop. To find an entry, all you need to do, you keep analyzing all the way to 30 minutes and 15 minutes. Now, when you are here, right, you can only think of one thing. When you are at the 15 minutes, you can only think of one thing. And what is that one thing? The one thing is the direction of the market. Where is it going to? For me, the direction of this market is on a downtrend. So all I need to do is to find a rejection that could enable me sell this market. This is the weekly zone. Remember the weekly trend line we drew? This is it right here. Now, because I have it at the back of my mind that this particular volatility 75 or this particular pair here is on a downtrend. So as soon as price gets to this particular weekly trend line, right, and fails to break it. What I mean by breaking is that price will need to break that particular trend line, come back to it before we buy or sell. Now, in this case, it fails to break. You can see the trend line. It just fails to break it. Now, all I need to do is look for an entry, which means I can go all the way down to even the 5 minutes time frame. I can go all the way down looking for an entry, even from the 5 minutes time frame. Okay, so I think this is the weekly zone. Okay, this is the H8. That means the weekly zone should be a little bit higher. So let's go to 10 minutes. This is the daily. So we couldn't find the trend line, the weekly trend line, right, on the 5 minutes and on the 10 minutes, right? But it is still discoverable on, we can still discover it on the 15 minutes time frame, right? So all we need to do is just to find an entry from the 15 minutes time frame, on the 15 minutes time frame and on the 30 minutes time frame. We just need to find an entry. For me, I will go ahead and take a sell from here after the first bearish candle. After the first bearish candle has been printed, the second bearish candle, I will take a sell, making sure that my stop loss, let me show you exactly what I mean. If you look at my chart, you're going to see something that looks like boxes, right? It is the use of this, they call it grip. It enables you draw a kind of boxes on your chart, right? This is, I can go ahead and take it out, and I can also bring it back. Now, 2 boxes. You can see, if I take out this horizontal line, you can see this is line 1, this is line 2, and this is line 3. So if my entry, if I am entering or if I am taking a sell, I'm making sure that it is here on line 1. Then line 2 and line 3 will be where I will be counting from. So if I want to put my stop loss, I will go ahead and count 1 and 2. So at the end of line 3, which is automatically our number 2, will be my stop loss. Very, very simple. Will be my stop loss, right? Now, I can just watch the market drop. Let's talk about where we will take our profit. Remember, we have some zones, right? We have some zones here. We have the daily zone right here. We have this daily zone here. And we have the H4. All we need to do is to wait for price to hit any of these zones. You can take your profit from here, and you can also take it from here. You can also wait for price to come back to this trend line on the H4. It is up to you, right? It is up to you. But for me, I will prefer taking my profit from any of those support and resistance zone, provided it is on the higher time frame, right? Provided it is only on the higher time frame, because that is exactly where we did our analysis from. Remember top-down analysis? This is exactly how to do it. You do your top-down analysis from the higher time frame. Remember where we picked it up, where we picked up this analysis from? We picked it up from the weekly time frame. We started doing this, started analyzing the chart, understanding our trend, right? Because only where we can understand the trend is where we will comfortably take a trade, right? That is exactly where we can comfortably take a trade. It is that simple. Few days ago, I took a buy from this particular market from here, from Volatility 75 right here. Why? Because price had to come down. I did my analysis and I discovered that H1 hit a particular resistance using our trend line, and I took that trade, which I'm going to post the screenshots, right? I'll just show you the screenshot so you can see. And everything was just buying all the way to the top, right? Everything was just buying all the way to the top. We've come to the end of this particular Volatility 75 analysis video. If you have any question, please feel free, leave your comments or leave your question at the comment section below, and I will go ahead and answer that question. If you have any synthetic indices pair in mind that you want me to analyze, or probably do a step-by-step video on how you can easily analyze that particular pair, then also feel free to comment that particular pair at the comment section below. Then I will go ahead and make that video. With that being said, please, if you found value on this video, kindly give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you will be the first to get notified each time there is an amazing video just like this one, right? So till I see you same time, peace.